So now I'm going to turn it over to Hubert, and he's going to present tonight's presentation. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you all for coming. Right now I'd like to call on our ancestors to bless this exercise. And also I ask the older member of our audience, give me permission to speak. Thank you. Thank you. All people on this planet come from black people. The transatlantic slave trade built the foundation for the modern global capitalism that we are experiencing today. Today we're going to take you on a journey with our ancestors. I bring you Montez and Mr. Antoine.
I am a Kemetic people, 250,000 years old.
I am King Akhenaten, 1352, 13 through 1336 BC, created one God religion.
I unified Upper and Lower Egypt, first Pharaoh men.
I could have freed more if they knew there were slaves. I am Harriet Tubman.
I am Miles, Prince, Jackie Robinson, and Paul Rose.
We died for our freedom. Nat Turner, 1831.
I was first traded on Wall Street, 1711.
1791, we died for our freedom. Toussaint L'Ouverture.
I am Sequoia, 2,700 years old.
1665, Johnson versus Parker, a black person who sued to keep his black slave.
I am Jeremiah G. Hamilton, 1840 to 1860, first black Wall Street millionaire.
Colonel Charles Young, first super of a national park, 1903, third in class at West Point.
Ivy Elite College, build on the trail of our ancestors.
I am Idlewild, Michigan.
Outlaw Duncan, 1968, NCAA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Bear with me. This poem was called Black Art. I am the Negro that speaks to the river, Langston Hughes. I am the bird of my Andrew by the cage bird sing. I am the lyrics of lovely life, Paul on Dunbar. But I am the red liquid that slips from the cracks of the sidewalk. Reality, they use me as pain. They spread me on the walls like graffiti. They say that my conscience is just retired. That's why they love using me so much. I am broken pieces on the hourglass. That's why you can't see me so clear. I am the pawns on the chessboard waiting to get to the door. I make the right when one move. Checkmate. I am cries from no sound. That's why you can't hear me so clear. My tears are not visible. My face is dirty. My nose is underwater. My skin is too dirty because the nature seems to bury me in. My hair is black as night raining between the moon and stars. My eyes tell the universe to look at me clear. The color was just mixing my pretty brown skin in the sand of the beach. But I walk around with a target on my black like a shooting range. I am a black boy. They put me last before everybody. They sided me with their stares. They say I'm a glorifying image of disappointment. They say I'm a disgrace to my ancestors. They made a fool out of me. It started back then when they hung me from the trees that strange fruit. From the roast that made love to my back to the white meat shown. They say I should join the circus. Cause everything I do don't make sense. They say I'm another black boy from the hood. I'm gonna become another black. Can I start?
No.
No?
Continue where you're at.
They say I'm another black boy from the hood, becoming another dropout. My mind is focused on greatness, so it just takes one step at a time to do it. My mother tells me that I was born a king, but I am bodies that wayside, modern day slavery. I want to let God approve of me. My God loves me no matter what. I'm the parent. I use words to heal a fragile heart that's been damaged to trust. His worth is more than this world could ever hold. There's gold at the bottom of the treasure. It's a story to be told. Flip it. Know your worth before your story is told. If not, somebody can grab it and use it as its own. If you haven't been paying attention to me now, it's been a lesson. We were all born kids and creators of the message. I wonder what I am. I'm a piece of everything. Creativity, pain, love, depression. I'm a piece of I messed up. A piece of everything. I'm a spoken word prophet. Here to paint a picture. Paint brush in one hand, paint a pad the other. I am carved into a blessing. I am black out.
They had the knowledge of splitting the atom and nuclear fusion, but they chose to create writing, reading, tools, arts, math, everything that the world does today, our ancestors created.
When other people tell their history, they come across as being patriotic. When other people talk about where they came from and who they are and what their history is, that's called patriotism. But when African Americans do it, or when black people do it, they're labeled as being militant. They're called rebels. They're called Afrocentric. So that's the big difference. Our history, for some reason, it becomes offensive to people. So we have to stop being afraid to tell what our true history is.
The studies will show that the dominant population here in America especially, and in Europe, have wanted to claim everything for themselves. And so they have made up a lot of stories as they traveled to places. And as we know, all of the places that the so-called European or the white explorers traveled, when they got there, black people were already there. Some kind of black people, or yellow people, or red people, or brown people. You as a black man are the root of all of the civilizations. Every body they've ever found, every tomb they've ever raided, whatever it was, they found something symbolic of the black man, either our features, your nose, your mouth, your head, the way we looked, our hair, even braids, everything.
The makeup of a human being's self-esteem, self-image, and self-concept is not only based upon one's family history, but it's also based upon one's racial history. So when you look at the self-esteem of black people and black children, you can rest assured that at least 50% of how high or how low it is contingent upon positive information that they know or don't know about who they have been in racial history.
And over the last, I would say, 1,000 years, there has been a protracted effort and an ongoing effort by those in power, the European powers especially, to make sure that what we have done as an indigenous, or what we call autochthonous peoples, Earth's autochthonous peoples, is erased irrevocably from the minds of all our people.
Only a people who haven't learned how to respect themselves will let someone suggest themselves that they forget about their history.
If you know yourself, there's no way that anybody could ever do the things to you, or would you do the things to you and yours that we find ourselves doing. So that, and in many ways, I don't really think it's hidden.
We're going to stop there. I'm hoping that this approach to giving you some background. The history of our ancestors is so vast that it would have been impossible for me to do a job without the help of Tendaji. I kind of talked to him a little bit as far as how could I approach this. On your tables, I've gotten and compiled some information that I'm hoping that you all will use and take home and share with others. Because as I said before, the information as far as our ancestry is so great and so vast that it would take a lifetime to really cover it. This just basically scratched the surface. And one thing that I'm hoping that with these talks, what we're going to allow ourselves to do is open up a dialogue. We understand that race is a construct. It is a construct that's been constructed by man. And it can be deconstructed by men. We have the power, along with basically our white brothers and sisters, have to be willing to find it in their hearts, because they created the system, and to dismantle the system, we definitely need our white brothers and sisters. So at this time, I would like to entertain any type of questions that any of you guys may have on what you have witnessed. This is called Hidden Colors. In my research, I've read a lot about Dr. Chekanti Diop and Ivan Van Sertima, John Clark, just to name a few. And when we go into our ancient history, see, that's why I thought it was important, so we could connect things. So often, we think that we're dealing with things in the 19th and 21st century. But when you go back a few thousand years, you can get a kind of baseline as far as how people behave and how people was treating each other years or thousands of years ago. Earlier, the young man mentioned he was a sequoia. A sequoia is a tree, 2,700 years old, just like the redwoods. I thought it was very interesting and important to share that information, because as we look at the pyramids, and they're 5,000 years ago, or the Olmec people, or the Aztec people, a lot of times, because history has not been told or shared with us fairly and honestly, we are behaving in the blind. We are doing things that we've been conditionally and culturally conditioned to believe and do. Even the way we divide ourselves from our color, light-skinned, dark-skinned, short, tall, all these things are a baseline to divide a people. And as you guys saw, all people come from Africa. All people come from one stock. And God, in this beautiful and magnificent way to keep things interesting and entertaining, he definitely developed the different shades and colors, because as we look at nature, how beautiful nature is, and that's how beautiful we are. And that's what we got to reclaim, our beautifulness towards each other. You know, even in this time that we're dealing with the stress in our community, with the water and a lot of issues, with the lack of jobs and lack of opportunities, one thing that history does, it helps us to understand the power of people and how they were willing to sacrifice and what they chose to believe in and what they chose to do. History is a hallmark and a stepping stone to show us what we can do. Because you cannot know what's going on around you unless you know what happened behind you. It's impossible to do it. And we have developed a system that has intentionally deprived and lied and changed history. So we will be behaving in a way that is unnatural. It's unnatural for us to kill each other. That's unnatural. It's unnatural for us to hate each other like we do. It is totally unnatural. It's not of God. It's not of the one God. The young man talked earlier about King Akhenaten. King Akhenaten created Amun-Ra, one God, the concept of one religion. At one time they were worshiping a lot of idols and all that kind of stuff. But he brought in an understanding of the one God. And you think about it, for thousands of years, people were sitting around looking at the stars and just being overwhelmed. And they had the power, y'all get this. If they built the pyramids and all these other great wonders, they had the power and knowledge to develop nuclear fusion. They had the power to develop a projectile to go through a tube and to kill someone. Instead, they developed gunpowder to have fireworks and do ceremonial things with that power. They didn't use it to destroy one another. On the African continent right now, there's 11 countries that make weapons. 11 countries make weapons on the African continent right now. That has never happened before. Most of the weapons were brought in from European countries. So again, history, guys, I think we all can really take a real lesson in this to open our lives up, open our minds up. We truly are going to die, and I'm hoping that while we're alive, that we will take maybe this energy, this small little time that we share together, and continue to share with each other the Tendaji Talks. The way we have kind of designed this approach, this workshop, is really based on honoring Tendaji and really working how we can really start opening up conversation with all of us, and especially with our white brothers and sisters, where we can start doing some things right here in our community. Because it starts right here as a family in our community, and it can spread out into the world.